Have you ever considered yoga? After all, it's one of the best forms of exercise for strength, tone, and flexibility. All of those things that contribute to an anti-aging lifestyle, and all those things that can be touched upon in a single routine. Don't believe me? Really, it can be that simple. And if you're absolutely new to yoga, let our instructor, Rebecca Hagman, walk you through some of the steps to show you how. Yes, you literally can reap major health benefits with minimal effort. It is not too good to be true if you just do it. So follow along as I clear the floor for Rebecca now.
Yoga is not complicated and anybody can do it. Today I want to show you how simple it can be. We're going to do some exercises that improve the back health and the hips by increasing flexibility with the back and the hips. The first pose that we do, we're going to start on all fours, and it's a flow actually called cow, cat, plank, and down dog. We're going to have our arms coming directly out of our shoulder sockets, and we're going to have our thighs coming directly out of our hip sockets. And so on the inhale, we are going to lift our head up and leading with the chin, and that will cause our hips to go up towards the ceiling as well. And on the exhale, we're going to tuck our hips in and tuck our head in for cat, arching our back, and that's all on the exhale. Then for plank, we're going to inhale, come onto the tops of our toes and lift our knees up for a straight back and straight legs. And on an exhale, we're going to lift up our hips up high, bringing our chest towards our quads for down dog. So this all goes into a flow pattern. And on the inhale, we come back to all fours. So let's give that a try, starting with the inhale. And in cow, lifting the head and allowing the pelvis to tilt up. Exhale, tucking the pelvis and the head in for cat. Inhale into plank, coming into straight legs and straight back and head out. Exhale, lifting the hips up high and bringing the chest towards the quads for down dog. And let's do that 2 more times together. Inhaling into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale into plank. Keep that butt down and exhale. Now lift the butt up for downward facing dog. Bring the chest towards the quads. And last one, inhale into cow. Exhale cat. Inhale plank. Straight back. Exhale and downward facing dog. Inhale, come back to all fours, and let's go ahead and sit down for head to knee pose. So this one is a hip flexor. It helps to open up the hips. You're going to draw the right leg in and have the foot at the groin. And on an inhale, you straighten out your back and bring the belly button towards the straight leg. Dorsiflex the toe and exhale and lead with the chest down. If we bring our head down, we lose the integrity of the pose, and the purpose of the pose is to strengthen the core at the same time that you're stretching out the core and opening up the hips. And we'll hold each of these poses for 5 breaths when you're doing it on your own. On the inhale, you would come up out of the pose and you're going to switch sides. So again, for when you're practicing on your own, you're going to hold these for 5 breaths. And exhale, going into the pose, leading with the chest. Today I'm just giving you a sampler and you can join me. And then on your own, you go longer. And inhale and coming out of the pose. Okay? Both legs out for a nice forward bend. And again, we're just bending at the hips. Dorsiflex the toes and exhale, leading with the chest down. And we want the head out, looking towards the toes, in order to keep the neck in alignment with the back. And after holding the pose for 5 breaths, coming out of that one as well. Draw the legs in for what's called easy pose, and you're going to have one foot or one leg in front of the other. They're not going to be crossed. but they're going to be in front of each other. And you're going to have the right hand, we'll start putting it down at the hip, getting that shoulder blade back and the back nice and straight. And the left hand comes up and it reaches over the head, and look straight and feel that stretch in the left hand side as you're opening up the space between the vertebrae with this stretch. On the inhale, come back to neutral and switch. So left hand goes down, pushes into the mat, gets the shoulder blade back and the back nice and straight. And then on the exhale, reach over into crescent pose and stretching out the right side of the body. The rib cage, the back, opening up, creating space. And on the inhale, come out of that and release. We're going to go forward for the next one. On the exhale, just folding forward at the hips, leading with the chest, bringing the chest down to the mat and over the hips. If your hips are really stiff, this is an excellent pose for that. And just go down as far as you can. And after 5 breaths, you're going to switch, because we work our body asymmetrically, because our body is asymmetrical. And we're going to do the same thing here. So if this is your pose and you can't get down any further, that's okay. If your knees are up because they're tight, that's okay too. Just work on tilting the pelvis forward, keeping the chest, leading with the chest, and the back nice and straight as you start to open up those hips. Okay? After that, we're going to come down onto our chest and onto our mat. Having our hands right at the chest, we're pushing the tops of our feet and the legs into the mat. We do not want to have loose legs because we want to be able to protect our lower back by having engaged leg muscles. And on the inhale, we lift our torso up, keeping the pelvis on the mat, and we can hold this for 5 breaths, trying to breathe from the belly and lower down after that you have done 5. Even if you do 3, that's great. Go ahead and open up the legs and come onto your haunches. This is called child's pose. It's a nice restorative pose. It will help to release any tension that was created in the lower back or the sacrum while doing cobra pose. And after 5 breaths here, we're going to come back into down dog as our inversion. So tucking your toes, lifting your hips up nice and high, bring your pelvis to the quads. Inversions are wonderful. This helps again to open up the spine, and it gets your head lower than your heart, which helps to increase neuronal activity. And the studies that they are doing now in yoga therapy are linking the improvement of your chances of not getting Alzheimer's. So preventing Alzheimer's when you do inversions. So I certainly want to do these every day as much as I can. And after you're done with down dog, come back on to your knees and into child's pose to finish up the routine in child's pose, which is a nice restorative again, and releasing any tension that was built up during that sequence. And that is it. I hope that you enjoy that. And again, the more flexible that you become, the more healthy that you will be.